From James Brown Park in Dalton, Georgia, it's the second annual Southeastern 7-on-7 Skills Competition Tournament. And hello again, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on the GHSA Network, PlayON Sports High School Network. I'm Chris Mooneyham. We are right underway here in Dalton. A deep pass, and what a way to begin our action here at James Brown Park. A deep pass by Auburn. 32 of the most high-profile high school programs have come from all across the Southeast to Dalton, Georgia, the carpet capital of the world. Little known fact for you there. I just put 4 people to sleep with that one, but in any case, thanks for joining us. What a skills competition this is. It's passing only. There is no running. There is no blitzing. There is no sacking the quarterback. It's passing only. You can see in front of your screen you'll have one man snapping to the quarterback. This is Auburn in blue and black. Auburn High School out of Alabama, the home of Reuben Foster. And a flat out here, or a pass out here in the flat, rather, is incomplete. So here are the rules as we roll through it. Each team will start from the 40-yard line. They'll need to get to the 20-yard line for a first down. There is only one opportunity to get a first down, by the way. No matter where the passes land, you'll have one chance for a first down at the 20 and one chance to get into the end zone. I mean, you'll have 4 downs, but just the one chance at the first down. It's a 7-on-7 drill, hence the Southeastern 7-on-7 tournament. This tournament a big success last year in its inaugural season, and even bigger this year. Pass complete out here in the flat. And yes, you see it there. It is a two-hand touch, or really just a touch tournament here. No tackling, no flags. So we've got MLK donning the silver helmets. By the way, we are at the 20-minute mark, these 25-minute ball games with the clock running concurrently. And a 7-0 score in favor of MLK. Alongside producer-director Corey Steinecker. I'm Chris Mooneyham. Looks, fires, deep. Got a man down there, but incomplete. Just over the head of his intended receiver. Auburn High School out of Alabama. As I mentioned, the home of arguably the #1 prospect in the nation. Easily a top 3 prospect in the nation, and a guy that yours truly feels will be an NFL player one day, Reuben Foster. Foster did not make the trip over here to the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains in Dalton. Foster, of course, changing his commitment recently, just this week, from Alabama to Auburn. That's a story for later on in the ball game. They're taking on MLK. This is a quarterfinal matchup inside this tournament, by the way. MLK, a team that was a true state championship contender last year in the state of Georgia. At the highest classification, they finished 12-1, led by head coach Michael Carson. Graduated 30-plus players last year. We got a stoppage in play here, by the way. Both teams start from right around midfield, so that's why we have the stoppage in play. It's a very loosey-goosey tournament. I don't mean that in a negative way, by the way. It's just very down home, very relaxed feel, except for during the plays, as you will see throughout the rest of the afternoon. This is highly competitive. In some ways, it's more mano-a-mano than an actual football game. But yeah, a lot of high-level recruits for MLK. A team that was within 2 wins of winning a state championship last year, and of course had one of the biggest, most dramatic wins of the 2011 season last year when they beat Brookwood. One of the greatest games I've ever called. Jonquel Dawson hit his wide receiver in the end zone with zeros on the clock to win one of the best games of 2011, and that was a playoff game and knocked out the defending champions in the highest classification in Georgia. Of course, they won the wildest game in the state of Georgia, MLK did last year, 50-48 over their heated rival in Stevenson, where Blake Tibbs, that's right, Blake Tibbs, if you're a Georgia Bulldog fan, you know that name. He'll be a wide receiver for the Dogs next year. He was a senior last year for this MLK squad and returned to kickoff with about 8 seconds left in that one, 20 seconds, something like that. It escapes me now, but that a 50-48 game and one of the best games that anyone has ever seen. And MLK on offense now. Good pass out there, about a 10-yard gain. MLK's mission this year to replace Jonquel Dawson. And they'll have to do it in arguably the toughest region in all of Georgia high school football. They'll be in a region now with Stevenson and Tucker, 2 perennial state championship contenders. This is Johnson, the heir apparent to Dawson, and it's incomplete. I've been out here about all day, and that's about the best pass we've seen the young man throw. He's an immensely smart kid, Michael Carson, his head coach tells me. Scored a 31, Corey, on the ACT. What do you think about that? Corey says 31. I didn't even know you could score that high. But he will be the replacement for Jonquel Dawson, one of the all-time leading passers in Georgia football history. Top 5 in passing touchdowns and yardage. They run this spread offense. As you see here, just about everybody runs this offense, but this is their home offense, as I like to call it. Good defensive play there by the defensive back for Auburn High School. MLK has won 10 or more games 6 times since 2003. And their first season was 2002. This is still a young high school, a young football program. Keep in mind, a stoppage in time here. At 17:56, it's 7-0 MLK. Again, 25-minute games, 25-minute clock. And it runs throughout, barring a penalty, that is. Caught in the middle, and that will give MLK a first down at what would be about the 15-yard line. MLK, one of the 2 teams, one of the 2 high schools that was in this tournament last year. They lost a wild seesaw affair to Ben Jones, the eventual tournament champions. Fires, caught, down around the 10-yard line where he is touchdown. We'll mark it at about the 11. There's no running plays, no backward passes, no trick plays, only forward passes. We got two games going on this field at the same time, and we'll have the same thing going on over on the other field. As a matter of fact, they're about to get underway. Scott Janovitz will be on the play-by-play story, and an interception in the end zone. He can run it back, and he's eventually tagged down just shy of the 30-yard line. And that'll be 3 points. An interception is worth 3 points in the 7-on-7 tournament. So Auburn, with their first points of the ball game, it's now 7-3. Many of you will know the Auburn Tigers program, led by head coach Tim Carter. Finished 8-2 last year. The home of Reuben Foster, who I could talk the entire 25 minutes about, by the way, but I won't. Cameron Eccles-Looper, senior, 5'11", 191, a quarterback, one of the highly regarded quarterbacks in his state. Blaze Taylor, a fine two-way player at wide receiver and cornerback. We'll see him out here on the field. A junior at 5'9", 155. A little bit slight, but his speed fits his first name, Blaze. Fires, oh no, incomplete. Well, that hit him right in the gut, and it was incomplete. They're expecting a lot out of Cameron, the quarterback, this year. See him taking the play from his coach, being signaled into him. Parker Heidemann, one of their big players on defense, and Selwyn Torbert is as well. Selwyn, a twin. Fires, caught. And the touchdown or the tap down, I should say, on the touch. That's going to bring up second down. Or third down. Pardon me, don't have the marker in front of me. Yep, third down. Thank you, Mr. Official. So third down now, 2 plays to get to the 20-yard line. Again, you need the 20-yard line for a first down. It's kind of like when you were a kid and you were playing in the backyard and you said either 2 receptions as a first down, you remember that? Or you got to get to the limb that's sticking out of the ground to get a first down. This one incomplete. And now, this always brings up the most interesting part of these skills tournaments. It's fourth down. You're all the way back at your starting point. You've got to go for the first down marker here in 1 play. A lot of teams choose to go straight to the end zone. Auburn will have 2 returners coming back on offense this year. So this is a good opportunity for them to work out some kinks. Cameron looks, fires towards that first down marker. It's caught out in the flat, and he's got it. A two-hand touch laid on him by the MLK defender, and it will in fact be an Auburn first down. Tigers lost in the first round of the 6A state tournament last year. They've become quite the decorated program, undefeated seasons in 08 and 09. They were number 1 ranked in 09 for most of the season. Made it to the state semifinals before bowing out. Second down coming up. Talked about Cameron at quarterback. You see him there directing traffic, checking his wristband for the play, got his jersey tucked underneath to taunt me because he's in such good physical condition. And he rolls to his left, looking, firing, incomplete. Just off the fingertips of his intended receiver. Cameron, a top 16 Alabama recruit. Been offered by the Tar Heels of UNC, Ole Miss, Wake Forest. The word on the street is that the Rebels have the edge. Here he'll have a third down play. Both of these teams run this spread offense, and you'll see that a lot out of most of these teams. Cameron fires, and it's batted away. A great play by the defender for MLK. Fourth down. 13 minutes and counting in this quarterfinal matchup. The winner of this one meets the winner of Scott Janovitz's game. Scotty calling a game, my broadcast partner during the regular season for the PlayON Sports High School Sports Network. Cameron firing, got his man, and it's caught for... Oh boy, didn't look like they got the tag down on him, but I'm not wearing the By shirt, and the official says that he's down at about the 2-yard line. So Auburn knocking on the doorstep, under 12 and a half minutes left in this matchup, and they trail just 7-3. Oh boy, that was a fourth down play, wasn't it? That was in fact the fourth down play. And so they're bringing the defense back out onto the field. One official told me fourth down, the other one told me third down. So that ends up being a turnover on downs. Again, remember the rules. Only to the 20 to get a first down. You'll have to get a touchdown after that. Deep ball. Got his man beyond the defenders and caught. And they'll tap him down at about the same spot the last play ended. Boy, MLK does so well in these tournaments. This is something else. Well, they're used to it. It's one of the highest scoring teams in all of high school football last year. And they've got some tremendous, tremendous athletes. DJ Polite Bray, wide receiver, 6'1", 175. Last year went for 20 receptions, 300 yards, had 5 touchdowns. Being offered by Ole Miss, Tennessee. Snap. Look. Fire a little floater that's incomplete. A little miscommunication there, and he's hearing from the coaching staff on the sideline. Their other biggest players, really, and they're so deep at running back, by the way, if you ever have the opportunity to see MLK during the regular season, they've got 3 stud running backs that they can run out there. But really, the strength of their team this year, despite the fact that their offense is going to be tremendous, may be on the defensive side, and I'll get to it in a second. Quick fire, caught for the touchdown. And it's 13-3. Before we get into the discussion about the rest of the fine athletes for MLK, this brings up our extra point opportunity. They can take the shot at 1 from the 10-yard line, or from the 15-yard line, they can go for 2. You see their decision here. Snap, drop, it's a 3-step drop, the quick fire, and it's caught. The conversion of the PAT, it's 14-3 at 9:45 with the clock running here in Dalton. MLK out in front. Let's see here. I'm looking through my roster. Josh Outlaw, one of the finest offensive linemen you will find. And if you don't believe me, just look at where he went, at where he's going. He's a verbal commit to the University of Florida. Also plays a little time on the defensive side. Jeremy Tyler, who we'll get a look at now on the defensive side for MLK, a defensive back. Offered to Ole Miss, Oklahoma State, Vandy, 6'1", 200 pounds. Got a quarterback change now, by the way, for Auburn. Snap, fake the handoff. Fire, and nearly intercepted. Did he? Yes, he did. Right at the 30-yard line. That is a huge, huge turnover at 8:50 left in this one. There it is, another one of those tremendous MLK defensive players. And another great play made by a defensive back, no less. I didn't even get to talk about Jacarthy Mack, who may be the best out of all of them. A first-team All-Region player as a junior. 6'3", 205, the linebacker, is a Louisville Cardinal. So now another chance for Auburn here on defense. They're no slouches either. That may be the strength of their team as well this year. They've got a lot of depth on offense, but more guys coming back on defense. 4 guys, I believe the number. Yep, 4 returning on defense for a 4-2-5 set. 4-2-5, really in vogue right now as far as the defensive sets go. Got Dustin Haraway, a senior, 6', 175. A defensive back. Then the linebacker, Drew Davis, a senior at 6'1" and 200. A lot of people very high on what that young man may do this year. A fire out to the tall receiver who will get close to the 20-yard line. Let's wait for the spot. Now they're going to mark him a good 4 yards shy of it. 3rd down. The bold white line in front of you. That's what they need for the first down. Johnson deep, corner ball, incomplete. And the coach comes right out onto the field and just lets him have it. It's tough love. I was down there on the sidelines. Don't know if you can pick up the audio. Yeah, he's really ripping into him. But I saw the love on the sidelines, and that's what a good coach does. Undress your man when you need to, and give him encouragement when you need to. 4th down play. They need 4 for a first down. Caught. First down. This is DJ Polite Bray. High hopes for him in his senior season. They've always had deep wide receivers, at least as long as I can remember. And especially over the last, I'd say, 5 years or so, they've really had just a cavalcade of wide receivers to throw out there at you. Last year, Blake Tibbs was the senior. Bray was the number 2 man. Deep. Corner ball. There he is again. And he's got it. Did he stay in? Yes, he did. A touchdown for MLK. And boy, what a big one it is. Now a 20-point deficit. Auburn really going to have their work cut out for them to get back in this one, much less win it. 23-3, a 20-point lead at 5:40 left. Well, they're talking about this decision as well. You go for 2, 18 points, a lot tougher to come back from than 17. Got a bunch. Nope. The trips is broken up by the man in motion. Caught. Boy, I'll tell you something. Johnson looking a lot better here in this ball game than he did in the previous couple. MLK is certainly in command of this one at 24-3 now, just a little under 5 minutes away from the semifinals in this tournament. A double elimination tournament. All the teams keep playing, by the way. They open play on Saturday morning, bright and early, 8 a.m. Get your breakfast, get your stretching in. Make sure you're hydrated because you're on the field at 8. They play the pool play 8 teams inside of 4 pools, or groups if you prefer. And then, after pool play on Saturday, they begin the tournaments. The lower teams inside of each pool play in the consolation bracket, and the higher teams inside the pool play move on to the championship bracket. Now, even the championship bracket, by the way, is double elimination. Boy, great catch. Did he hold on to that ball? Yes, he did. A great catch. Up at the 30-yard line with a man all over his back. That one could have been close to calling the defensive interference, which penalties, by the way, on defense are called. Penalty for pass interference, penalty for defensive holding. There's a penalty also for an offensive man holding. Deep ball. Got a 1-on-2 matchup here. 2 defenders floated back for MLK. Their center fielder, their safety, came back to play defense on the play. Clock still moving. Auburn's got to have points in this possession, and they got to have them in a hurry. Again, thanks for joining us here on the PlayON High School Sports Network. No matter where you're watching us, throughout the state, across the nation, or around the world. Snap. Gotta have it. In motion, fires, incomplete. And that'll be a change in downs. And that might just be the ending blow for Auburn. Auburn, of course, with consecutive wins coming into this one. They took out Bowling Green, a highly decorated program out of Kentucky. The Purples, as they're called, Bowling Green, one of the great nicknames ever. Deep ball, had a chance at a tremendous catch, and it's incomplete. A little bit of good sportsmanship there between the defender and the receiving man, or intended receiver. So yeah, Auburn took out Bowling Green and then beat Fletcher just before we began play here. And that set up our matchup. MLK exacted a little bit of revenge from last year in their semifinal loss as they beat Ben Jones in the opening game of this championship bracket, and then took out Florence of Alabama. Complete out in the flat, tries to make a move and get around the defender, turning the corner, and he's touched at the 30. Clock nearing the minute mark. MLK going to win this ball game and move on into the semifinals for the second consecutive year in the Southeastern 7-on-7 tournament. Again, want to remind you folks that we'll be here all afternoon on the PlayON High School Sports Network. MLK going to win this one and face either Cartersville, Pierce County, or Griffin. A couple of Georgia teams and an Alabama team in there. Cartersville, a pretty well-decorated program. Not too far from here in Dalton, as a matter of fact, in the state of Georgia. And then, of course, there's Griffin, who on any given day could be confused for the Green Bay Packers. A little more yellow in their uniform, I think. But again, Scott Janovitz and I will be here with you throughout the entire afternoon as we will take you all the way through the championship here in Dalton. Well, we started slow, but things really picked up, didn't they, Corey? For Corey Steinecker, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Thanks for joining us here from Dalton, the carpet capital of the world, in James Brown Park. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more action.